G'day everyone, Master Rabbit here from CapsuleComputers.com.au. I'm here with Matias, from Managing Director of Remedy Games in
Helsinki, Finland.
That's it.
Glad to be here. Down under.
Down under in Australia, and we're here for the
Alan Wake. We're getting a lot of community folks coming out and getting them in play and giving them a special sneak peek at Wake, which is coming out in May.
which is fantastic. I've had a look at it outside. I was pumped.
Thanks, man. It means a lot.
It does. It's really, really good. Okay, Matias, please tell. I know a lot of people already know about Remedy, but could you give us a bit of a rundown of how the company was created, the name behind it, and how many people you have working for you today?
Sure. I mean, today we're about 50 people. We started off in the mid-'90s, kind of a traditional kind of garage startup, if you will. You know, working in the basement. One of the founders. I came on board in '99, so good 11 years ago.
Long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a good ride, but yeah, it's a long time. So I mean, and the company had already been very much established. We were working on Max Payne 1,
yep.
and kind of. So we did Max Payne 1 and Max Payne 2 in 2003, and then we kind of started to build our next big thing, and here we are in 2010. You know, Alan Wake has been in development since 2005. You know,
2005.
Really, yeah. I mean, we built a lot of tech and looked at things that we wanted to do in the time between, and then you know we set out to build a psychological thriller, and kind of. One thing leads to another, and here we are in down under in Sydney, you know, showing you the game. And,
we're finally here. We're finally here. I can't believe it. Everyone's going to get to play it very, very, very soon.
Very soon.
Awesome. That's great. All right. So, just give us a brief rundown. Like, I know for the people who have not even heard of the game Alan Wake.
That's both of them out there.
There's a lot of them out there. You don't know how many there are.
I know, it's scary.
Yeah. Could you give us a description of what the game's like, including like how the game mechanic works and stuff like, you know, with relation to Alan Wake?
Sure. I mean, so Alan Wake is a psychological action thriller. I mean, we want to build a heart-parting thrill ride, you know, something that really delivers on the action side of things, and something that's more cerebral. So we combine the mind of a psychological thriller with the body of a cinematic action game. So I mean, those things are kind of, they meld together. The high concept in a nutshell is that Alan Wake's a best-selling writer, but he hasn't managed to write anything in a couple of years. He goes on vacation with his wife Alice. She disappears, and his search for her starts turning up these pages of a lost thriller novel, a thriller he doesn't even remember writing, and it seems to be coming true. And
so he finds these papers.
He finds these pages of the thriller novel, and they seem to be coming true. So. They talk about a dark presence that's been unleashed, and it's taking over this town of Bright Falls, and taking over the locals and animals and inanimate objects, and turning them violently against Wake.
Yeah.
So it's very much.
And he writes it. He thinks he writes it.
See, that's part of the mystery.
Okay, the mystery. Fair enough.
But it seems like he's written it, but he doesn't remember writing it. And that's kind of where we kind of start with the setup of the game.
All right, awesome, excellent. That sounds really, really interesting. All right, now one thing which is the selling point, to tell you the truth, what does make Alan Wake stand out compared to the other games that are out there at the moment? Let's say third-person shooters that are out there at this moment in time.
I think it's a good and fair question. I mean, for me, we look more towards inspiration from outside of games, if that makes any sense. So we kind of look at film, TV, books. And graphic novels, and take something kind of from the common subconscious of popular culture, but try to find something that's fresh and innovative that hasn't been done in games before, and bring it into the game space.
Very important.
And make it into something of our own.
Yeah.
So, you know, for us, it's very much about one is the story and building a thriller, but on the other hand, games are interactive. I mean, by their very nature, how it feels and how it plays is darn important.
Very important.
So we want to get you know, those things to flow for the gamers, and it's just kind of a combination of the both. So we have a unique gameplay mechanic. We use light and darkness as key gameplay elements. So light's a safe haven for the player, and a combat tool. And darkness represents, you know, insanity and nightmares and all things that are very primal to us. And Wake's enemies are covered in shadows, protected by the dark presence, which is taken them over. And the player needs to use light to burn away the dark presence before he can do damage with a conventional weapon. Okay,
so a light could be either a torchlight, a flare, or something.
It could be a hand light, a flashlight,
a
hand flare,
a flare
gun. the headlights of a car,
Ah.
there's a searchlight. So there's a lot of escalation, and a lot
Okay.
of, and obviously the environment itself. And sometimes the environment turns against you. Anything can become an enemy, because
Yeah.
the dark presence is taking over objects, smaller and up to locomotives or trains, and throwing them against you. And you have this this escalation, almost like a poltergeist, if you will.
Ah, okay.
So there's a ton of interesting things to do there, but it's one of those gameplay mechanics that's better played than explained.
Yes.
So when we had on Max Payne, we used slow motion as a gameplay.
Yep.
And we tried to kind of explain that. Maybe we weren't very articulate about it, like I am now.
Yeah.
And we had this. We tried to explain. You go slower in time.
Yes.
And people, won't that get boring? So we're kind of getting that reaction. And I think with Light as a gameplay element, you get the control in your hands, you'll have fun.
Yes.
It'll be cool.
Yes.
And I think that's the key thing for us, really.
Okay.
I think we deliver on our kind of heritage.
I think you have. From what I've seen, you guys have had.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. No, there's no slow-mo though, but there is slow-mos in certain places which do bring it.
That's one of the things. I mean, we wanted to. We have kind of a set of tools, but when you deploy those into a thriller, it's a different genre.
Yes.
So we have those near-miss moments. For example, when you make an invasive move and the hatchet is coming for you, then you kind of pull the camera out, and then you go into slow motion.
Yes.
Or enemy creeps up behind you, you pull out the camera, and you see yourself from the perspective of the predator as a victim, if you will. And you also get moments where there's my personal favorite. You get these enemies are close to you, and you pull out a hand flare. You get that Statue of Liberty moment, and we pan the camera around you, and it's just a very oral experience.
That's good. It's good.
So sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble hiding my excitement, but stuff like that is, I think
You're passionate about your gaming, and that's most important.
I love it. I mean, the things there they're driven. They happen under the hood, and they feel good.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of the time you need to be careful when you're taking away the camera, and when you're moving that camera or messing around with time.
Yeah.
And it's just about getting it to flow right.
Excellent. All right, well, that pretty much covers a lot of the questions. One thing I did want to ask was the achievement system, because I know it's on Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's a lot of people who are really interested in getting achievements, and achievements are very important for everybody. Now, could you give us a rundown of maybe some of the really harder ones to pick up? Or can you, if
well,
it's...
I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, what we wanted to do for the really hardcore out there who want a challenge, the game essentially has a dynamic difficulty system. So we built that into the normal and hard modes. So basically, if you're faring really well, the game kind of ramps up slightly. But if you're not doing really well, the enemies become less aggressive.
Okay.
But once you complete the game, you're able to play it on Nightmare. And Nightmare doesn't ramp down. Those guys are coming for you at full aggression.
Okay.
And if you complete the game on Nightmare, I think it's a fair challenge.
Yep.
But it's a darn hard challenge.
Okay.
And
so
I think those achievements will be the ones that
you'll be trying to pick up.
As a gamer, those are the ones where you're going like, okay, now I've earned it.
Awesome. Okay, we'll wrap up with just two quick ones.
Sure.
Now, we'll leave it with the last one. What do you love most about working at Remedy Games?
I get to work with people who are honestly passionate about what they do. They want to be really good in their individual areas. We have an awesome writing staff. We have an awesome technical staff, and our art staff is. Those guys they're guys and girls. They're really passionate about what they do, and there's a supportive culture, a very collaborative culture where different disciplines come together, and I think that love for Wake as a concept really shows in the work, and the attention to detail is something that for me is sometimes it's words escaping for that kind of dedication to just doing it. I mean, it's more about coming together as a team and doing something really cool as opposed to a job.
Excellent. That's what you want. It's perfect.
It's a family.
That's it. That's what it is. All right. Well, Matias, thank you very much.
Glad to be here in Sydney.
Excellent.
Awesome.
G'day, mate.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks very much. Master Abbott signing out from CapsuleComputers.com.au. Thanks very much, Matias.
Thanks, man.
Okay. Bye-bye.